Shimla, a town wrapped in mist and mystery, is known for its colonial charm and breathtaking views. But beneath its picturesque beauty lies something sinister, something hidden in the shadows of its ancient roads and dense pine forests. Aryan, a travel vlogger, arrived in Shimla on a cold December evening. His channel thrived on exploring haunted places, and this time he had picked an abandoned British-era mansion, Rosewood Villa, a place lost in the folds of history. The locals refused to speak much about it. The few who did warned him, "That house, it calls people, and they never return." Shrugging off the warnings as superstitions, Aryan packed his camera gear and flashlight and set off for Rosewood Villa, nestled deep in the forests beyond Summer Hill. The path leading to the mansion was eerie, lined with towering deodar trees that swayed unnaturally despite the absence of wind. A thick mist curled around the trees, making visibility difficult. Aryan felt a strange weight in the air, as if something unseen was watching him. As he reached the gate, he noticed something odd. The lock on the rusty iron gate was broken, as if someone had forced their way in recently. Curious but undeterred, Aryan pushed the gate open, its creak echoing unnaturally in the silence. The moment he stepped inside, the temperature dropped drastically. Dust and cobwebs covered everything, and the scent of something rotten lingered in the air. Aryan switched on his camera and whispered into the mic, "Guys, I'm inside Rosewood Villa. Let's see if the rumors are true." As he moved deeper, he noticed a large portrait of a British woman in the hallway. Her piercing blue eyes seemed to follow him. The nameplate beneath read, "Margaret Wilton, 1892. Suddenly, a floorboard creaked behind him. He spun around, but there was no one there. A nervous chuckle escaped his lips. "Guess the house wants to welcome me." But his laughter died when he heard it, a whisper, faint yet clear, right next to his ear. "Go back, before it's too late." Heart pounding, Aryan aimed his flashlight down the hallway. The light flickered, and for a second he saw something, a shadow darting into one of the rooms. Gripping his camera tightly, he followed. The room was a child's nursery, untouched for decades. A wooden rocking horse sat in the center, its surface cracked with age. Aryan took a cautious step forward. The moment his foot touched the floor, the rocking horse moved. Not just a small tilt, it started rocking violently, as if an invisible force was pushing it. And then the whispers returned. "She's here. She's here." The nursery door slammed shut behind him. Panicking, Aryan fumbled with the door handle, but it wouldn't budge. His breath came out in short gasps. He turned and his flashlight flickered again. In the corner of the room stood a figure draped in a tattered white gown, long black hair covering its face. Aryan's scream caught in his throat as the figure lifted its head, the woman from the portrait. Her blue eyes glowed unnaturally, and a sinister smile stretched across her pale lips. The whispers turned into a shriek. The windows shattered. The temperature plummeted. Aryan felt an invisible force pushing him against the wall, tightening around his throat. With every ounce of strength left, Aryan yanked a small pendant from his pocket, a Rudraksha mala his grandmother had given him for protection. The moment he clutched it, the force released him. The woman's form flickered, her scream echoing through the house. The nursery door burst open, and without looking back, Aryan sprinted out of the room, through the hallway, and out into the cold night. As he reached the main road, he collapsed, gasping for breath. The next morning, locals found him near the old church, shivering and muttering about the lady with the blue eyes. An elderly man sighed. "Margaret Wilton was a British officer's wife. She lost her child in that nursery, and then she hanged herself in that very room." Aryan never spoke of that night again. He left Shimla the very next day, but he knew some doors should never be opened.